Mirror's Image, Lane, Tommy, Randy, James, here for T.H.E. and TailGate Ministries, Mirror's Image ministry, being married with TailGate Ministries. You know, I just really want to get each one of your feel and your thought process. And Tommy, you know, I want to, I'll give them my perspective too, but you know, I want to hear your side of the story, how you and I come together, you know, and everything. And yeah, you know. You know, so if you will, Tommy, you kind of tell them that first, and then we'll go through everybody's feelings, you know, of how this is coming together and working for God. And my son and I were just looking for a place to shoot 3D. Josh found a, what was it? You went on the internet or something, found T.H.E., did you?
It's an archery talk website or something like that.
And it showed up as T.H.E. We thought, what in the world is this? We didn't know. So we called Jimmy and ended up talking on the phone for, how long's battery life on a phone?
it was at least 2 hours.
At least 2 hours, it died. But anyway, we got hooked up and went to the world shoot, and it's just like everything connected. It was God sent. It was just bottom line, God sent. We shot world and just fell in love with it. And fell in love with the staff that's here, the people, and it's just awesome. The ministry that's come together is, you know, I also feel like it's just God sent. It's awesome.
It's just God at work.
It's God at work. I can't explain it any other way. We never dreamed as a band that we would be doing this.
Yeah.
Something, two things that we enjoy, music and archery, and it all just come together as one. And it just blows my mind.
Well, see, that's for me on the flip side of that perspective. It was, you know, I can tell you that for me, it was like from the moment that I heard your voice, I knew there was something more than just you asking about a 3D shoot. You know, because first, yeah, I'm just giving you the business spiel. Hey, this is what we do, we're different, and blah, 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 blah. And then I mentioned, you know, that I do a ministry with it too, and you went, oh, cool. You know, in that voice that you do, you know, oh, cool, you know, and you said, oh, well, you know, hey, I'm a member of a Christian band, you know, and everything. And it just, like you say, just God put it all together from there. And so, you know, that was pretty cool for me as well, as the way this thing has just really come together and God has orchestrated. Because I would have never dreamed, hey, let me see if I can find a Christian band that wants to join me in TailGate Ministries out here preaching, when, for goodness sakes, at the time I was only doing it on Sunday morning because, you know, I don't want to offend anybody on Saturday, you know. And here now I've turned it all over to him, and he's just really brought y'all in, you know. And so Lane, you know, what's your thoughts on, since you've been here all year and been coming to the shoots, and your feel about all this in the ministries that's...
Now remember, you only got a couple of minutes to talk.
I know.
To me, it's just kind of one of those things. We'd started out with this band, looking at doing outdoor singings, concert venues, things like that. There was even a couple of Christian club stuff. And we went and played two or three of these places. And some of us had played places like that in the past. Well, hey man, it'd be really cool to go do these things, you know, get in front of a big crowd, stuff like that. But it wasn't feeling right. It just didn't feel right to us. And all of a sudden, Tommy calls us up and said, hey, guys, I met this guy. You know, me and Tommy went and shot at this deal, said, he's a Christian, he's in it, and he wants us to come play music. And we're like, oh, okay, let's try it out, you know. And then next thing we know, it's just a snowball effect, and everything just seems to be, you know, just getting better and better and better, and we're just enjoying ourselves so much more, and everything just seems to fit more than what we was looking at before with what we was doing. And we all looked at each other. We never thought that this kind of thing would come about. You know, we was looking at going to churches and singing, youth groups, outdoor concerts, things like that. We never thought about a 3D shoot.
Yeah.
And us actually being able to be involved in something else than just our music at the places we go. And it's just been a really enjoying thing and just really satisfying with everything we do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, Randy, you know, I've known you a long time, you know, and so I think it's kind of cool how small world, you know, I meet Tommy and that leads back into being around you and stuff. And, you know, what's your thoughts on all this?
Well, I have to have a confession first. I actually knew about this before we started shooting. I remember Jimmy talking about, let's come out here shooting, I got the targets, I've done this. and this is when we were at the same church at the same time. I knew about it, but I just never, I'm not a hunter, I'm a fisher. But so it's kind of cool.
You knocked me out a year shooting?
Was it a year?
It's more than a year.
More than a year. I've known about it for probably 5, 6, 7 years now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Unfortunately, the circumstance that I had to go through to get with the band is quite unique, and it's actually a godsend to me because youth ministry at one time put my faith and heart into everything that I did for God, and then it fell off. And met these guys. We like it. Come on with us, and then it just
I don't like it if nobody else can play with it.
But like Elaine said, it's a snowball effect, and it's not a coincidence that everything happens. It's God's plan, and it's kind of hard to let Him lead you where you want to go or you think that you want to go. But it's kind of one of those. All right, God, here I am. I'm here for you.
Yeah. Do what you want to do.
And the cool thing about this is, I started shooting. I was, last October or something. This is a blast. I come out here and now I can hit something. Trees, limbs are in the past. Now I'm actually hitting the target.
No. So you're learning something in the process.
Exactly.
Limb killer.
Well,
Trying a new name for it.
it's kind of funny. On my perspective of me and you, we've actually just vaguely met.
Right.
Because you used to do pest control is what I do for a living too. So it was very vague that we had met before, because I remember when y'all first come to Ada, I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I've seen that guy, you know. And I want to share something with you on that I've been meaning to talk to you about anyway, so what better time to say it on here. One thing I think is cool about that was told to me by a lady in her home one time is she said, it's no coincidence that you're in pest control and ministry. She said they're one and the same. And because she said that she knows a evangelist, that he was a pest control man, and God pulled him out of that, and that's what he said, that's what I'm still doing. I'm still doing pest control. I'm still cleaning up people.
That's exactly right.
And so I was going to share that with because you do know what I'm talking about on the pest control thing.
Yeah.
Because out there in people's lives, when you're trying to talk to them about God and talk to them about cleaning up their life and spirituality, man, it's the same thing as going and getting rid of the roaches.
It really is. It really is.
And you've got a method. You've got the answer.
Right.
And they need it, But anyhow, that was a little off the subject. But James, what's your feelings about since you've gotten involved in this?
Well, this is great. I dabbled in archery a little bit years ago. My dad shot competition archery with a local club when he was young, and back when I tried it, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a mop. But put it down for a bunch of years, and I guess what was it last September or so?
About September, yeah.
I had actually traded a guy for an old bow, and I thought, I might like to learn how to shoot now. And went out and shot with these guys a couple of times, him and Josh, and I was hooked. Went and bought a better bow the next day.
Yeah.
And I've been hooked on it ever since. But music-wise, Lane and I have played music since, 7th grade?
Yeah.
We've known each other since high school.
More than we want to remember.
Yeah.
Since he was just a little guy.
Yeah, since he was just a little guy. Yeah, he's
I've grown,
a
just
couple
not in
inches.
height.
But we played together in a Southern country gospel group for a while. But then through circumstances, we went our own ways and did our own thing for a while. We both played in the Southern rock and the hair metal bands and all that for years. But really got back tight with the Lord through some events in my life about 5 years ago. And actually, out of the blue, Miss Lane called me one day after you'd opened your music store and said, hey, we're putting together a little Christian group. You want to come up and play? So went up to his shop one day and hadn't seen him in probably 2 or 3 years.
And then we only seen each other just once in Blue Moon.
Vaguely. And Tommy was there. They had been in a group together and had got out and decided to do their own thing. And we sat down and played a little bit, and it jived, and we've been going strong ever since. But when we started the group, we wanted to go in a direction where we could reach people that, through conventional means, they don't go to church, they do other things. They call themselves a Christian, or even if they're not. we wanted to be able to go out and reach those that through what we do, we might could reach them when other means might not be able to.
Those that have been a member of the
Right.
flock and strayed,
Right.
those that have not joined
Right.
the flock yet. That's exactly what TailGate Ministries is all
Right,
about.
exactly.
And so I feel like that's exactly how I feel, is that the ministry of Mirror's Image and the ministry that God started of TailGate Ministries, that we didn't do it. God just has married that.
Right.
And I feel like it's coming together just so, like you said, a snowball. That's such a perfect example, because I know at Ada, which was the first place y'all played.
I think you were just as nervous as we
Yeah,
were,
I mean,
not knowing how it was
like,
going to turn out.
I'm like, well, what's everybody going to think about
Yeah,
this? You know, I mean, because like I said, I wouldn't have thought, wouldn't have sat down with Chet and Randy in a marketing meeting and went, okay, guys, what do y'all think about getting a Christian band? Because here, if I would have approached it from that standpoint, this is what my thought would have been, and would have shot it down. He said, well, Jimmy, you're trying to get some band to play behind you to glorify you. Mm-hmm. And so for God to have put this all together, it's glorifying Him.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of my take on the whole thing. And,
That's one thing that we've always decided on, and we got borderline at one time. When it starts to the point where it's glorifying us, it's time to quit. It's time to stop. So we got borderline. But we regrouped after some time off and a lot of time in prayer and a lot of time on our knees. We came back together, and it's to glorify Him now. And the farther that we can fall off and get plumb out of the picture and He still use us,
right,
the better off we are.
It's not about us.
Regardless
It's not
whether
about
if it's some menial little archery event or if you need to play in a pigsty, y'all are willing to go.
We're willing
Exactly.
to go. I mean,
If God sends us there, we're going to go.
We've always kind of been of the opinion that if there's one person there that gets something out of what we're doing, then it's been
I
worth
mean,
it.
that's biblical.
And it-
That's what He tells us. That
and
if
it
you
may
just
not
touch
be-
one,
And it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but
We might have just planted a seed.
a year from now, it may remember back something that was said. If that just touches that one person, then the job's done. It's all worth it. It's
Every bit of it.
well, absolutely. I want y'all to know, and the public to know out there, these guys, in a period of this 6 to 8 weeks that they've been coming to the shoots, I mean, they've been shooting longer with us than that, but since they've been coming to the shoots, that, hey, they've become my Christian brothers. And hopefully, guys, come out and listen to them play and listen to God's Spirit move.